Right.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm asking again, let's go back. Language. I would assume that Norwegian is a difficult language to learn. Do you speak it well, and how long did it take you?
Okay, I speak it well. I thank God that I have a gift of languages. I mean, I'm quite interested and fascinated by foreign languages. I can sit at home and see two Chinese people talking, and I can sit there for hours just watching them speak, even though I don't understand a thing of what they're saying. So it's a difficult language, Norwegian, but it took me maybe 1.5 years to learn it just through watching TV. Another thing is I like to watch cartoons, and so I was watching cartoons all the time, and there's no better way of learning a foreign language than watching cartoons and just being around kids, because they speak, the way they speak it is quite simple and basic, and therefore it's easy to pick up on stuff when you watch when you watch the cartoons, being around the kids.
Right. Now, you mentioned accommodation, again, just for a detail. Did you arrive and you were given a huge mansion as you might live in Karen and Mathega with 4 bedrooms and said, Origi, this is for you? Where do you live?
No, when I arrived,
are you in a camp? Are you in a dormitory?
No. You live. You give in a house. You negotiate your contract. But I remember when I first went to Norway, I was with one of my friends and teammate George Midenyo. We traveled together, and the first thing we did was we were put up in a hotel. So we lived in a hotel for a week or two, and when we played, and then when the clubs realized that they're interested in us and they wanted to give me a contract, then that's when you sit down with them and you negotiate your contract, and then they give you everything you need, because the clubs, they take good care of the players.
Again, of interest, we're looking about the details. Yeah. When you sit down and negotiate a contract, I mean, I'm going back on this idea, you're a young man. Did you have a lawyer, or did you just look at a figure and say, this is twice what my aunt or my mother earns, therefore it must be good money? Negotiating a contract means what?
You have to negotiate the contract, you look at the details, what you want and what your value, and this you have to be with someone who can see you from the outside, who knows your value.
Right,
knows,
so you have an advisor.
Yeah,
you weren't alone.
You call him an agent.
Right.
It's called an agent.
Right, so you have an agent, and your agent is protecting your interests and taking a cut from whatever deal he makes. So that's the basic working. Okay, I'm going to go back to this idea of the African extended family. You mentioned your sisters, your uncles and aunts. Are people expecting Arnold Origi to pay for their livelihoods because you're making so much money? No. So every month you're doing the equivalent of M-Pesaing, $1 million shillings to Kenya.
No. I think actually doing this, you're doing it out of your own initiative, because this is one of the things that made you had that dream of playing in Europe. So you wanted to play in Europe so that you could provide for your family, maybe buy a gift for your sister, buy a gift for your brother, maybe send money to your parents. But the thing is, what I've experienced with my dad, with my sisters, and my cousins and my aunts is that they're just proud of me doing what I'm doing today. So the monetary issue is not an issue for them. Whenever they see me, they don't see, because when they see me, they see Arnold. They don't see Arnold Origi. So
right.
To them,
so there's a lot of love involved in this whole interaction.
Yeah.
And I'm going back again, if I may be personal, to this idea of what has football meant to you as an individual. I mean, would you describe yourself as an extremely well-off family, good education, and you just happen to be a talented sportsman? Or was football the vehicle for you to realize your dreams? Tell us something about your life.
My life, okay. I played football just for fun. My dad actually was not fascinated by the fact that I'm playing football. He wanted me to achieve success in life off the pitch rather than on the pitch. And off the pitch, I mean by going to school, maybe graduating from high school, joining one of the major universities in the country, being a lawyer, being a doctor. But it's reached a point where you have to make that decision and just follow your dream. Follow your dream. Do what you love. And
right, so there's been an acceptance now that you've followed your dream and that you're a success. Everything is forgiven.
Yeah, and that's basically that's what an African parent wants to see his child successful. As long as you're not stealing.
Every parent. Yeah. Every parent, I dare say.
As long as you're not stealing, if you see that your kid has achieved something and has become someone in life via the right path, then you can't do nothing other than be proud.
Right, so there's Arnold Origi, who's made a success, and you're going back to the structure of the game in Kenya. Are there some wide generalizations that you might make about more youngsters following in your footsteps? Is the structure there to make sure that the Harambee Stars will become a better team because there'll be a better quality of player wishing to become professional?
To be quite honest, John, I have to disappoint you and say no. I don't think the structures from the youth level is there to like enhance and create the next Mariga, the next Oliech, the next Wanyama, the next Origi. The structures aren't there. I think what has happened.
So there were exceptions that proved the rule because they were so talented.
Yeah, it's
not because. Because in Europe you talk about youth academies, people signing up because they're showing talent at the age of 10. David Beckham's son is already being groomed to at least play good quality football. Do you need to be a rich country in order to do that? Because we Kenyans are meant to play football all the time. So what do we need?
I think it's not about being. It's just about commitment to people being involved in football. Not only because like the norm is people always hammer the FKF, the federation, but I think it also has to go to the club levels, the clubs, because the KFF cannot have all these structures. The clubs, the Gor Mahias, FC Leopards, Tusker, Thika United, Bungoma United, they need to have this use, because this is what happens in Europe. Because, for example, take in Norway, each and every team from the first division to even the fifth division, they have youth academies. They don't have to be fancy youth academies, just somewhere where kids can come and play the game, enjoy the game, and maybe just practice, because as they say, practice makes perfect. Practice and just nurture their talent and so try to be better in what they're good in. And
right. Would you go so far as to make the criticism, and I'm not drawing you, that somebody is making a living at the expense of your talent if you happen to be a Kenyan athlete or footballer? In other words, the distribution, because there are people who go and watch matches. When the Harambee Stars were playing, the stadium was full, and the tickets were anywhere between 3,000 shillings and 500 shillings. Seems to be like that's a lot of money. Or is this an area where you won't say anything on air because it's too sensitive?
To be quite honest, being close to the federation at the national team level, I think it's not more. It's not about people stealing the money, because it's just like them lacking the proper plan, because there's no enough sponsors and and if you say you're gonna run the national team using cash from the federation, then the money that the federation makes, for example, I would assume they made maybe 3-4 million from the match against Nigeria. This is peanuts if you want to run the national team. But if for example, there's things like accommodation, players' allowances, stuff like uniform, they have to buy uniforms, stuff like this. Right. And so the money, the 4 million, it's too little. It's too little.
Right. We must stop. But I'm going to go back to your own goals. We're going back to Arnold Origi, your dreams. You're a goalkeeper. You could play until Van der Sar was 40, maybe. So you've got some time in you, maybe 11 years. 10 great years. What are we going to read about you if the dreams come true?
If the dream comes true, then first of all, I want to be, if not the best, one of the best goalkeepers in Africa. And I want absolutely to be the best goalkeeper that Kenya has ever produced. And this is just one of my major goals. Of course, I want to play in one of the top leagues in Europe, England, France, Spain, Germany, leagues like that. And just literally, I want to inspire the young goalkeepers growing up to realize that because there's a stereotype. There's a stereotype that that goalkeepers from Africa cannot make it in Europe, but I just want to make the young kids realize that also African goalkeepers can make it big in the big European leagues.
Best of luck in being a role model, and thank you so very much for coming on
Thank
the
you.
interview.
Thank you.
Thank you.